In Texas, where everything seems bigger, State Highway 130 east of Austin really is.
The State Highway 130 project is the largest highway project that TxDOT has had.
It's a big solution to a big problem: traffic gridlock on nearby Interstate 35, the primary corridor for commercial traffic traveling from Mexico. In addition to size, Highway 130, which parallels 35, is also impressive in other ways. With 49 miles of pavement stretching from Georgetown past the future Highway 45 interchange in Pflugerville and the Colorado River in southeast Travis County, this tollway is being built in record time, in just 5 years instead of the 20-plus years normally needed. And since time is money, the $1.5 billion price tag is actually a savings for taxpayers.
I would speculate that the savings saved are at least in the tens of millions, if not approaching $100 million.
How are the Texas Department of Transportation and developer Lone Star Infrastructure doing it, building the highway cheaper and faster without sacrificing quality? Who's helping, and how will local communities be affected? Many of the successes can be found in the partnerships that have formed around the State Highway 130 project, partnerships working for progress in Central Texas.
I was thinking about bringing them down the main line.
A first-of-a-kind partnership in Texas between road designers and builders is at the heart of the faster, cost-saving construction. Traditionally, crews didn't move dirt until engineers had finalized designs, and that took years. But on Highway 130, Lone Star Infrastructure is acquiring and clearing property, while plans for the roadway are still being finalized. Developers and designers now work under the same roof.
The biggest challenge is making sure that they get their information to us as soon as possible so that we don't already have it built before the design has been changed.
That partnership and special financing for toll roads has brought rapid results. By November 2005, some 2 years after breaking ground, the entire project was nearly half complete. That puts Lone Star Infrastructure on schedule to finish the initial segment from US 79 to 290 by January 2007. From Interstate 35 to US 79 by the following August, 290 to 71 by September, the remaining stretch to just south of US 183 will be complete before the close of that year. Drivers will then have 4 new lanes with frontage roads in some areas, a median available for other transportation like rail, 124 bridges, plus 30 entrances and exits to the roadway. The construction partners who got the dirt flying are also working with community partners along the route.
The partners consist of the local governmental groups that where the project actually falls, the cities, the counties, but there's also the broader community, and the decisions that are made in that corridor will affect the quality of life of all of the citizens of Central Texas.
Quality of life in his town of Hutto is the reason John Graves, owner of a storage and U-Haul business, welcomes Highway 130.
I think it's high time that the eastern side of I-35 got some really serious development, both from people moving out this way and from the commercial and industrial side. Frankly, they represent a relief potential for my property taxes, you know. And any time you can get a bigger crowd together paying the same taxes, it's a wonderful situation.
The Highway 79 interchange near Hutto is about a mile from Graves' business and a little more than a year from completion. But already, Graves has added so many new customers he plans to expand. Now retailers like Home Depot have opened their doors, companies are building, new residents are moving in.
SH 130 put us on the map, if you will.
Economic Development Director Polo Enriquez says his town, known for its mascots, the Hutto Hippos, is fast becoming known as a gateway to this major magnet for development.
We've had inquiries from retailers, from commercial entities whose names you would recognize because they're all over, all over the landscape, to some people who are more obscure but who move goods and services up and down major corridors like SH-130 is going to be.
Enriquez says development opportunities for communities along the superhighway are boundless, but shouldn't be left to chance. That's where the partnerships become important.
I'm grateful that Lone Star is reaching out to the communities that are so close to this project, because it will give us an opportunity to plan for the future in conjunction with this construction and to match what is going on with this project.
The Texas Department of Transportation and Lone Star Infrastructure are working with Hutto to keep traffic running smoothly during construction. In Pflugerville, they built an additional U-turn in the middle of the new roadway for emergency vehicles. When Travis County officials announced plans to eventually extend Howard Lane from here to beyond 130, developers changed their blueprints and added a bridge that will allow Howard Lane to continue further east.
And I guess he's going to tie the garage wires into the new house wires.
Cooperation also keeps the lights on. Almost daily, Lone Star Infrastructure's John Nichols coordinates with utility companies and residents living near the construction to make sure customers don't lose service when power and water lines are moved.
When we do something like that, we try to do it in what we call the window. We either do it during the day when they're at work, from 9 to 3, or we'll come in at midnight to 6. So we'll do it in hours that they're not actually using the water, or for electricity, Time Warner cable, Cox, phone. We'll do it in what we call the window, and we'd like to keep the project in good standing in the public view.
That means protecting wetlands and other natural resources that matter to the public. Lone Star Infrastructure is the first highway developer to voluntarily join the Clean Texas program and to pledge to exceed environmental requirements for construction. Crews are sensitive to the seemingly little things, too. When an owl fell from a nest and landed in the path of bulldozers, workers took a break and brought in experts who rescued, rehabilitated, and released the bird. In Del Valley, Lone Star Infrastructure worked with children at Popham Elementary to relocate elm trees in the path of the highway and to transplant them at the school.
A project of this magnitude is generally thought of in terms of the grandeur of the size of the project. It's $1 billion. People get caught up in that. But a job is done a day at a time, a person at a time, a shovelful of dirt at a time. And the care that you take in dealing with the individuals up and down the corridor and how well you address their concerns is really the measure of how successful we are.
Today, the never-ending traffic congestion on Interstate 35 threatens commerce and could make the region a less attractive place to live. A bold, immediate solution is needed, and that's State Highway 130. While it will be the single largest highway project in Texas history, project managers say its success will be the sum of many smaller efforts. And that will come through the partnerships working for progress in Central Texas.